the Foul-Mouthed Aussie, and you're listening to that wrestling podcast, and it fucking sucks!
Welcome to That Wrestling Podcast. It's Thursday, it's money, it's Clyde, and we're going to talk a little wrestling, baby. You ready, brother?
Woo! That's right, baby. Ready to get it in there. Get them biscuits burning, brother.
If your biscuits are burning, I don't know if that's good, man. I like my biscuits nice and fluffy and crispy, you know.
You do got a good point, man. I might need to go ahead and get the biscuits out of the oven, brother.
All right, so enough of the daggone biscuit talk, man. How are you doing today, brother?
Pretty good. No complaints, brother. And by the way, happy birthday to you.
Oh, I appreciate that, man. I thought you was going to tell me happy. It's like a dual day for me. It's Rusev Day and my birthday today.
Yeah, you're turning 21 today. Yeah. It's awesome, brother.
Yeah, it feels good, man. I'm feeling spry, brother. And, yeah, speaking of feeling spry, I guess we're going to get into this news today here, dude. I guess Angelico's feeling spry today because he's just recently signed with AEW. We're going to touch on that today. Rhino turned down a big raise from WWE recently, evidently. Dominik Dijakovic underwent successful knee surgery. Going to touch on that. We're going to touch on the length of the Bill Goldberg deal. A little more details have emerged on that. Play a little bit of random wrestling knowledge with Clyde, which is my favorite segment. Viceland actually announced some cool details about their latest wrestling series, and they also unveiled a new one. So we're going to touch on all the details and the comings and goings with the Viceland wrestling series there, which is really interesting. I'm enjoying those. Also going to touch on Adam Cole. He's evidently making a couple of independent dates coming up. XFL announced their TV deal. We got a lot to get into today, brother. You ready to do all this?
Yes, sir. Let's get it in there.
But before we do, why don't you be so kind as to tell the people of the audience what's going to happen if this show, this channel, this podcast, baby, is lucky enough to hit 1K subscribers?
Well, we're going to get Dave in a crisp Elvis suit, and he's wearing me out with a guitar. Please, no shots to the brain, brother. I don't need no more damage than I already have.
That sounds good, brother. Yeah, and let's hop on into the news, man, right here, fresh. This is the hottest news of the day that I've seen right here. This is like the freshest news of the day that I found here. Did you hear about Angelico signing with AEW over WWE, evidently?
Yes, sir, I did, and what a signing there. This dude's got the look. He's got the skill. I'm not so sure on his promo, but he's definitely a superstar. You can check him out, probably YouTube him. A lot of Lucha Underground footage, man. Just an unbelievable star, and that's a good get for them, brother.
And also, you know, this fella too. He's not really, you know, when I was looking him up, I haven't seen him a lot, to be honest. And I looked him up, watched some clips of him. Man, the guy can go. He looks like he's got some high flying stuff that he does, but he's about 6'3". You know, he's not necessarily small. So he's kind of, you know, right in the middle there. And I know AEW was kind of needing some wrestlers with some size. So, you know, at least this guy has a little bit of size also to kind of bolster the roster a little bit too. I was liking that fact about him.
Yeah, you can print money with him, man. That guy's could be, if they book him right, it could be a huge superstar.
Yeah, and right here, according to Pro Wrestling Sheet, Ryan Satin of Pro Wrestling Sheet reported that Angelico has come to terms with an agreement with AEW despite drawing interest from WWE. It says WWE was planning to bring him into NXT, and Satin reported that WWE was not interested in a bidding war for Angelico, who was most notable for his run in Lucha Underground. So, you know, like we've discussed this for weeks, dude. You know, the war is on between WWE and AEW, and if you just don't see it, the writing's on the wall, baby. The shells have been fired, brother. You know.
Yeah, it's like choose your sides, man. I'm staying neutral myself. You know, me and you we're just gonna cover the activities.
So we're like the like reporter on the battlefield. Like we just have a camera and a microphone, brother. We're like that's
it. We take in the goings on.
That's right, man. Yeah, and that is like, I think this is going to be a good war to actually get hunkered down for and kind of dig a foxhole out and just get ready to watch, man. It's going to make wrestling so much more interesting and entertaining, just adding just another layer and another element to the to, you know, what's going to happen, you know, what's going on between this company and that company, and like I said, just drama equals ratings for wrestling, I think, brother.
Yeah, get those back buttons ready on your remotes because there's going to be a lot of flipping back and forth, brother.
Yeah, well said, brother. And yeah, somebody we won't be seeing in NXT for a while though is evidently Dominik Dijakovic, who underwent successful knee surgery the other day. Did you see his tweet where he tweeted that out?
Yes, sir, I did, and it's good news, man. I hate to see any of these gals and guys injured, man. That's great news.
Yeah, I really do too, man. I hate to see people go down with an injury, and I had no idea that Dijakovic was even injured. And because he was kind of feuding with Velveteen Dream, and I'm pretty sure they was building for a match for Velveteen's. What does he have? The North American Championship at the next Takeover. I think that's where they was heading. But yeah, evidently Dijakovic tweeted the following out yesterday. Yesterday morning, my knee was surgically repaired in Orlando, Florida. I know to many of you consider this a burden or a setback, but not me. I consider this a gift. I'm happy that I had a tear in my meniscus. This represents sacrifice. This represents discipline. And like he kind of pulled his leg up in the video and like showed his leg where it was all bandaged up. I had to rip away the weakness to rebuild it to be stronger than ever using my blood. And the recovery time is generally up to 3 months. So yeah, I guess he's going to be on the shelf for a little while, brother.
Yeah, that was well put, man. That almost sounded like a wrestling promo. I like it, love it.
Oh, he was in character. He was definitely in character when he was cutting his little Twitter video, man. It was pretty cool, brother.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out. Because as you was reading that, I was like, man, that sounds much like a wrestling promo. It's really good.
Yeah, well done. Yeah, on his part, dude. Hopefully we see him back out there soon, man. I don't know if you ever had a chance to watch him yet, man, but this guy could really go. And like I said, once they kind of moved Aleister Black on along and they almost kind of, just plugged in Dijakovic, man, and I think he's done a fine job, taking his place in NXT, brother.
Yeah, I've seen a little bit. I enjoyed the little bit that I did see.
Yeah, and speaking of did see, I guess we're about done seeing Rhino on WWE, brother. Did you hear that he turned down a big raise from the company to become a free agent?
Yeah, I did. And doesn't really surprise me. They haven't done too much with him recently. I mean, he had that. I believe him and Heath Slater were the first tag team champions on SmackDown, and other than that, it doesn't seem like he's did a whole lot on television.
Yeah, I hadn't seen him in a while. Like I said, I think the last time he was actually on WWE programming was at the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal at WrestleMania 35. And I think that he had like nothing but nice things to say about WWE in a recent interview I was reading from. Let me see here. Here it is. Here's a little quote I have. July 17th is my last date there, Rhino revealed. And this is to Chris Van Fleet recently on an interview. July 17th is my last date there, Rhino revealed. They actually offered me more than twice my downside, but it wasn't where they would have had to use me. Because my downside is so large, it wasn't about the money. It was about me wanting to be on the road and work and help the younger guys, kind of like a player coach. So I think Rhino is just really wanting to be out there and be involved more in whatever he decides to do next, brother.
Yeah, I mean the man beast can still go. The guy's built like a fire plug or a refrigerator, and he's got a lot left, I think, brother.
Yeah, I think so too, man. And he, like you said, dude, he has just such a unique look. I don't know, him and Mark Henry are just two of the more unique built guys I've ever seen in wrestling, like wide as they are tall, literally. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that actually would have been a good team back in the day.
Wide as they are tall? I don't know about that name. We're wider.
The wide squad.
Yeah, man. You just block. Say you had like you didn't want somebody getting through a certain door. Like you just stand Rhino and Mark Henry in front of it, dude. I don't think anybody's coming through it, brother.
No. Good luck getting by either one of those guys, especially Mark Henry.
Yeah. Yeah, brother. And speaking of good luck getting by, I think our announcers are wanting us to, not our announcers, our sponsors are wanting us to step out, take a real quick commercial break, brother. So we're going to come right back with segment 2 and talk a little bit more madness, brother. You ready to do that?
Yes, sir.
All right, folks. We will be right back after this. Hello, I'm Richard, but you can call me Dick. And I'm going to talk about something today that not a lot of men really like to talk about. But sometimes after a long day in the saddle, I get a little itching in my nether region. And that's why I got with my friend Peter here and created a wonderful product. You tell him about it, Peter.
Well, my name's Peter. I'll tell you, if you got an itch and you get it up, there ain't nothing better for that itch than Texas Ball Cream.
That's right, it's Texas Ball Cream. You can pick us up at all your local retailers. Just ask the pharmacist for Texas Ball Cream. Welcome back to Pillow Talk. Smooth 107.4 FM, baby.
Got me some new boxers from Walmart, baby.
Yeah, check out our new cologne, baby.
That's what I'm talking about.
Alright, man, we gotta kill this. We got a lot of news to finish hopping into today, man. I didn't know if you wanted to try a little, little different, join up a little differently out of a break, brother. Did you like that?
Yeah, come holler at me.
Come holler at your boy.
We're back. We're back to normal here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, girl.
Let me holler at you. I got some new Old Spice, baby.
That's right. Yeah, man, and speaking of somebody that's old, brother, that's out there still doing it, man, I want to hop back into the news, man. You ready to do this before everybody turns the damn show off, dude?
Yeah.
A few more details have emerged, evidently, about Bill Goldberg's new WWE deal. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, I did. Looks like this could be a one-off, brother.
Yeah, just a one-off, brother. Just a one-time deal, evidently, here in Saudi Arabia. I wouldn't be surprised if he's getting, like, high six or low seven figures for this deal. What do you think?
Oh, I guarantee it, man. Those guys are paying unbelievable money. So money on the table. Can't blame Goldberg or anybody else. Go in there and grab it while it's there to be got, brother.
Yeah, go. Take it. Yeah, take it if you can get it, brother. You cannot blame Goldberg. I know there's some people that don't want to see him back out there, and I guess the good news for that segment of fans is that, like we said, that the rumors are emerging. This is just a one-off deal, so I don't really necessarily think there's a shot that he's going to take Kofi's title, because I don't know if you've seen that last week. There was kind of a rumor floating around the internet that Goldberg's going to come in and take Kofi's title because Vince is concerned about ratings and all this and all that, and it doesn't really look like that's where they're heading right now, huh, brother?
Yeah, thank God. That would have literally made me sick physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Wouldn't have been right. I'm okay with Goldberg coming back for one match. No complaints here or anybody else, man. Kudos to them. Smart business.
Yeah, it really is, dude. And have you seen any rumors as to who Goldberg actually might be wrestling?
I thought I seen something about Brock.
I seen that.
Somebody else.
And I seen something about Bobby Lashley also. I kind of think that's where they might be going, because I don't know if you've noticed on Twitter the last few days, Lashley and Goldberg have been tweeting back and forth at one another, kind of, sparring with words, brother.
Yeah, well, if that's going on, I would guarantee it's Lashley, because Brock seems like he might be heading on his way out, but as soon as you think that, he comes back and wins the title, hangs around for 5 more years.
Yeah, Brock might have just signed back up, like you said, for a new 25-year exclusive type contract. So you never know, brother.
He'll hold the title for 15 years straight.
And yeah, I'm glad to see, though, that Goldberg isn't going to be battling against Kofi, dude, because like you said, dude, I mean, how else could they have done that match? The styles definitely would have clashed. It wouldn't have been a good match, dude. It wouldn't have been a good, visual sight to see. So what could they have done other than have Kofi dance around for a while just to eventually catch a spear and a jackhammer, right, brother?
Yeah, I would have booked it like this. Goldberg goes for the spear. Kofi jumps over him, hits the turnbuckle, SOS, and that's over.
Oh, wow. Hey, dude, you know what? Talk about getting a guy over, dude. I mean, what if they did that, dude? I mean, I just got hyped thinking about that, dude. That's better than WWE booking. No offense to all the creative people for WWE back there writing either, brother, but that was pretty daggone good, man.
Yeah, nobody would expect it. And, Kofi definitely has earned everything he's gotten from WWE.
I love that, dude. You segue so perfectly in everything I want to do, brother. That's why I love having you on the show, because speaking of not expecting it, here we go. Random Wrestling Knowledge with Clyde. Are you ready, brother?
Santa Maria. Yes, sir. I'm ready to go.
Audience, feel free to play along at home. Every day we ask Clyde 3 random wrestling-related questions, and they're literally coming from out of nowhere. So without further ado, we're going to hop into today's segment, brother. You ready?
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
Here we go. Hot and fresh out the skillet, brother. Took me 19 hours to get these together for you.
My God, brother.
Question 1. Who first invited the Iron Sheik to become a pro wrestler?
Let's see. The first person to invite the Iron Sheik. Boy. I'm going to say Tony Atlas. That's my final answer, sir.
Mr. Producer Man, show me Tony Atlas. Final answer.
Santa Maria.
Oh, yeah. I don't know, brother. Tony Atlas. That was a good guess, man. I think you've got that Dark Side of the Ring series on the brain, brother. That's what it is, man. What's funny is before I'd seen that Dark Side of the Ring, you've been telling me some quotes our last few conversations, and then I realized a lot of the stuff you've been telling me recently was just stuff off of that show.
You gotta get it where you can, brother.
That's right. That's right, brother. It's a really good show, though, so I don't blame you for quoting it. Yet, actually, it was Vern Gagne who first introduced Iron Sheik to professional wrestling, and it was in 1972, and he was actually in the same class as Ric Flair.
Amazing. Cameraman, zoom it.
That's right. That's right, brother. All right, you ready for question 2?
Yes, sir.
Okay, this man holds the record for most eliminations in a single elimination chamber match, and a single Royal Rumble match. The elimination chamber match, he eliminated 5. The Royal Rumble match, he eliminated 13. And who is this gentleman?
I'm gonna go with Kane. That's my final answer.
Mr. Producer Man, show me Kane.
Roman Reigns.
It's Roman Reigns. Carlito. No, brother, it's actually Braun Strowman.
Santa Maria.
Yeah, Braun. I figured you would know that one, dude.
I don't know why I was thinking Kane, man. It used to be Kane, I'm sure.
Yeah, it used to be Kane. You're stuck in the wrong era, brother. You refuse to turn the page. Speaking of Kane, real quick before we hop into question 3, did you see the other day, evidently he did some kind of press conference where he like slammed somebody through a table or something? I just read the headline. I didn't read the entire article.
My God, Jerry Negron. He really did that, brother?
Yeah, he really did.
That's beautiful. I love it. I wish I could have been there to see it.
I think it's on the internet. We'll have to figure it out. We'll put it up on one of the affiliate pages here as soon as the show's over, brother. And I know you'll be kind enough to list all the affiliate pages. All right, let's hop into question 3. You ready, brother?
Yeah, let's get it in there.
All right, what is Sonya Deville's mixed martial arts record?
Oh, I'm gonna say it's 3-1. That's my final answer, sir.
Mr. Producer Man, show me 3-1. I feel so bad for you today, my friend.
Santa Maria.
Oh goodness, I thought you might get that one, bro. You were so close, though. I got to give you an E for effort because I would have been like 12-3. I'd have been way off. She's actually she's 2-1, dude. So you was really close. Yeah,
sometimes you got to job out, brother. It's no big deal.
That's right, man. Sometimes you got to put the co-host over on the show, brother.
Yeah, you gotta job out and just take it like a man, brother.
Yeah, she actually she's 2-1. She won one match by knocking out her opponent. She won another match by submitting her opponent, and the one she lost was by a decision. So she really performed pretty well in that in that field, in the octagon, brother.
Yeah, I'm looking for her to eventually get a shot at that title, man. I think she's extremely underrated right now.
Yeah, really good. Yeah, and I think her day's coming sooner rather than later, brother.
Yeah, could be at the Money in the Bank right around the corner.
You never know. And speaking of right around the corner, we'll be right back after going around the corner for a few commercials, brother. Do you want to step out and then we'll step back in and we're going to hop into this new Viceland television series when we come back. Touch on Adam Cole possibly returning to the Indies. We got a lot to get into the rest of the day, brother.
Let's get to stepping.
All right, yeah, we're going to get to stepping. We'll be right back after this.
Fiona says she's out shopping. She's under me and I'm not stopping.
This summer, one family.
Dad, this place is kind of creepy.
Son, get some rest. There's nothing to be afraid of. Is about to see that things ain't always what they seem.
The legend is true. Can't believe it.
For thousands of years, they've been dormant. And now they must eat. Darnell Jackson and Haley Joel Osment star in this summer's blockbuster hit that you won't want to miss. Okay, my keys. Where's my keys?
Oh no. Oh no. Oh God!
Clowns in a house.
I just want to go home.
Welcome back. What's up, brother?
Just sitting here vibing out, man. I mean, I'm in a real comfortable place right now.
Yeah, man. What's up with the music today, dude? We gotta get on this producer guy. I feel like this is like this. Like it should be like introducing the all-new 2019 Subaru Outback. We'll take you there.
You feel like you're floating on a cloud.
Yeah, bro.
Hanging out with dragons, brother.
Yeah, hanging out with dragons. I like it, man. I like it, brother. Yeah, man. So we just got a cool mellow vibe here today on the show. I'm liking that, brother. I'm liking the vibe, man.
Yeah, it's good. It's good for blood pressure. For
Yeah,
sure.
I know. I noticed you kind of chilled out today, dude. But we got to, it's time to hop right back into the news, brother. We got to increase the energy, brother. Are you there?
Yeah, let's do it.
You got about a 4. I need you at about a 98, brother.
98.
All right, man. So did you see? And I know you've really been enjoying this Dark Side of the Ring series from Viceland. I don't know if you heard the news that they've announced the debut date of a new series called The Wrestlers, their second wrestling series.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch that 3 or 4 times each, like I did these other ones. I just love it, man. It's one of my favorite things going on in wrestling right now.
You know what? The show has been good, and actually, I was reading the other day that this has been the most successful, like the highest rated series. The Dark Side of the Ring series was the highest rated series to date for Viceland as a channel.
Yeah, I could believe that. You get the wrestling fans all over the world, brother, and all the topics have been really good, man. A lot of old school, just beautiful storytelling. I'm not sure who is directing these, but they're doing one hell of a job.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think all of them have been excellent so far. And, about that screw job, one of the biggest takeaways from the entire series of this to me, of course, was the tragedy of Bruiser Brody and the Von Erichs, and, all that's very tragic. But one of the biggest, news tidbits to me was, when Scott Hall was talking about that screw job and how he's just so adamant that it was all just a work and an angle. And what's your thoughts on that real quick, brother?
Well, if you watch that same show, go to Jim Cornette and he'll tell you about how I feel about that.
So Jim Cornette claims that he is the mastermind behind that, brother. What do you think about that?
I mean, that's a possibility. He is a wrestling historian, but I like what Bruce Pritchard said, that we all said it, that it's kind of all their fault, not just one person.
Yeah, but aside from their fault, who do you believe in that? You believe Russo, or do you believe Cornette, brother? Who do you think, they both have such adamant stances against it, and I know both of them are known for being world-class bullshitters. So, I mean, who do you believe, brothers?
Well, if I got to choose, man, I'm going to go with Cornette. I'm a member of the cult of Cornette, brother. You know how it goes.
And, yeah, you know what, dude? I'm going to side with Cornette, too, dude. If I had to choose a side, gun to my head, dude, I'm going to say I believe Cornette. I just think that, I know that Cornette has his detractors out there, and so does Russo. But as far as really just taking and painting an entire picture, I think Russo just comes off as there's way more evidence out there that Russo is a liar than there is Cornette's. What I'm saying.
Yeah, it was a very unfortunate deal, man. That whole thing is what it is, though. It's always going to be a part of wrestling history.
And isn't it crazy that it's happened to be filming a documentary about Bret that night also?
Yeah, I've seen that documentary several thousand times, probably. If anybody hasn't seen it out there, it's Wrestling with Shadows. You can find it on YouTube very, very quickly.
Oh, yeah, awesome documentary if you hadn't seen that, dude. And so you're excited about seeing the new series, The Wrestlers. I don't know if you've seen the preview for it on Viceland. Have you had a chance to check that out?
Yeah, I've seen the previews a few times. I've seen MVP was talking on there, and they showed a lot of wrestlers I didn't recognize. MVP was pretty much the only one I recognized in the commercial. But, yeah, I can't wait, man.
Yeah, I can't wait either, dude. This kind of takes a whole new approach to this is way different from Dark Side of the Ring. Here we go right here. Viceland premieres The Wrestlers on May 22nd at 10 p.m., hosted by hardcore musician and lifelong wrestling fan Damian Abraham, lead singer for the Canadian punk band F'd Up. This series goes beyond the world of mainstream professional wrestling to dive into the vibrant, fascinating, and bizarre subcultures in the wrestling universe around the world. From Lucha Libre in Mexico, to the women's wrestling scene in Japan, to voodoo wrestling in the Congo, and countless points in between. So this kind of just takes you behind the scenes of just different wrestling cultures all around the world, brother. So at the very least, it ought to be pretty interesting.
Yeah, I can't wait, man. And kudos to Viceland. Like I said, it's one of my favorite shows. I have them all saved on DVR right now. The Gino Hernandez from last night was it's very good. Sad, but it was a well done documentary.
I hadn't had a chance to watch that one yet, but can't wait to see it, brother. I'll definitely check it out in the next 24 to 48 hours. I have a full report on your desk by Monday, sir.
You make sure you get that in, brother.
That's right, man. Speaking of getting it in, man, this NXT superstar is definitely getting it in. Evidently, Adam Cole's returning to Evolve for a pair of wrestling shows later this week. Have you heard about that?
Wow. No, I haven't. I'm kind of surprised by that with him being signed to the WWE.
And I'm assuming this, he had to have this, put into his contract himself, because I'm sure WWE's not going to just voluntarily, hey, let me write this in there where you can have a few independent dates. So evidently Cole had a little bit of creative control and say so in what he does, brother. So I do like to see that.
Yeah, man, who knows? Maybe WWE is looking at what AEW is doing and saying, well, maybe we ought to start offering our stars independent bookings on their days off. We'll see where it goes in the future.
Yeah, so this Friday and Saturday night, Adam Cole's going to be at a couple of Evolve shows, and actually, WWE.com is the ones who kind of broke this news, kind of started spreading. I want Evolve to spread it, of course, too, but WWE.com actually sat down with Adam Cole for a lengthy interview where he touched on a number of topics, including his return to Evolve Wrestling, on Friday and Saturday for a pair of shows. And here's a quote from actually from the article, and this is on WWE.com. This Friday, May 10th, the Panama City Playboy will lace up his bootstraps to battle at Evolve 127, where he'll compete in a non-title match against ever-bumptious Evolve champion Austin Theory at the Manhattan Knights of Columbus Hall in Michigan. And then from there on, Cole embarks on a second night of action at Evolve 128, Saturday, May 11th, inside the historic Southside Turners in Indianapolis, where he takes on longtime rival and AR Fox in singles competition. And so, the WWE is actually advertising this. I guess that's what I found weird about it.
Yeah, that's different, man. And maybe they're going to adjust their business model. And, like I was already saying, you see what AEW's doing. They're letting their guys show up pretty much anywhere they want.
Well, seemingly letting them show up anywhere they want. There's been a few rumblings out recently. I don't know if you'd seen them on the internet, and you and I didn't have a chance to touch on this on our last show, but touched on this with Neville and Negron. It's just that there's some rumblings released that AEW's talent might not be as free to roam as you think, brother.
Yeah, it would make sense to kind of keep them under your umbrella, because what if they go to one of these shows and there's 20 people in the crowd and they get a career-ending injury? That's not good business at all.
No, definitely not, dude. Definitely not. And speaking of not good business, brother, we've got to hop out for one final commercial break of the day, and then we'll be right back to close the show up with a little bit of talk. And here's what we're going to talk about. The XFL has their television deal, and I want to touch on the state of the talent situation in the WWE and what you think about this talent moving back and forth, and the brand split possibly ending and all these rumors that's swirling on that, brother. So you want to hop in on all that to finish the show up today?
Sounds good to me, brother.
No, it sounds good to me too, brother. Yeah, so we're going to hop out, pay a few bills, and we will be right back after this. The following is a paid advertisement for Scrotal Treatment Centers of America. That wrestling podcast is not responsible for any products in this ad.
Do you suffer from ACE, also known as atypical constant ejaculation? Well, you are not alone. And now, thanks to the Scrotal Treatment Center of America's patented new Semenese technology, you can get your problem taken care of. It's a series of 3 invasive laser-guided injections that'll have you up and running in no time. That's the Scrotal Treatment Centers of America. Not only am I a spokesman, but I'm a client.
Yeah, baby. Now we're back to wrap the show up. Got a little bit of rock music this time. We thought we'd end we'll stop with the experiments for today, brother. It's time to get right back to our roots, baby.
You gotta turn that rock and roll down there, son.
I'm sorry, am I on your lawn, sir?
Yeah, you need to get off my lawn, too, with all that mess there, fella.
That's right, brother. I'm sorry,
My
sir.
bad, that was Grandpa Wildfire, man.
I'm sorry, sir. I will be immediately off. No, that sounds like the kind of old man that will shoot at you or something if you don't. So I will comply. I'm off the lawn, brother.
Yeah, he's pulled a pistol on me at least twice this week already.
Oh man. You know what you should tell that guy actually, dude? Just give him one simple.
You suck.
Maybe he'll leave you alone, brother. Yeah. Just real
Shit, you gotta go.
Then run. Then run, bro.
Yeah, I'm actually outside now.
Hey man, so did you see the news that Vince McMahon's XFL actually announced their television deal the other day?
By God, I did. Yeah, I did see that, brother.
Man, what about the broadcast partners that they was able to line up for this thing, man? And goodness gracious.
Yeah, it worries me a little bit. I'm a football fan. I'm an NFL fan. I'm a little worried about this XFL, man. Is Vince not paying attention as much to this WWE product? I hope that's not the case.
I don't know. I think he's definitely got his eye on his WWE product, but this has to be distracting him some. I can see where you're coming from with that, man. But yeah, they was able to pull this off with ESPN, ABC, Fox, FS1. I mean, goodness gracious, it's going to have several primetime Thursday night games on the main Fox network one night before SmackDown Live's regular time slot on the channel, effective of October this year. I mean, it just sounds like Vince has just built this huge media empire. You know, like live sports programming is pretty much like the last beacon of hope for cable television, and Vince is like staking his claim, helping him out, brother. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, he's got the funds to take a gamble. He took a gamble on this before, and we'll see what happens, man. I'm just, I almost wish he would have invested all that money back into the WWE and got us some new stars and things of that nature.
Oh yeah, I'm right there with you on that, dude. But it's kind of,
and that's no knock against football. I love football, man. It's just we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. I kind of think that like the timing on this was looking better when he initially announced that he was doing this. But then since he's announced that, you know, like I said, you had another football league actually start, but it actually went belly up before the season was over. So now it's just back to this XFL and NFL that's going to be on television, which is good for Vince. You don't want to have three of them out there competing with each other. But, you know, I don't know if he necessarily seen the AEW thing getting ready to pop up. And do you think if Vince knew that AEW was getting ready to like pop onto the scene, do you think he would have still went on through with the XFL plans?
I'm gonna guess, knowing everything I've heard and read about Vince, he you know, he's got these grapefruits, brother. I could see him still doing it, but man, he better really be careful, because AEW is just well, they got NFL too, though, off the Jacksonville Jaguars, I believe.
And do you think that the Khan's also on the Jaguars, they're on the football club over in England, but the thing is, I don't necessarily think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think the Khans have any like shareholders or stockholders to answer to with any of their the teams that they own, do they, or promotions?
Honestly, I'm not sure, brother. I don't want to give you an answer. I'm not really sure about that.
Well, like I know they're not any publicly traded companies. Like you can't buy shares of AEW, for example, like you can WWE, right?
Yeah,
So
I don't think you can.
Do you think that this is going to be an advantage for AEW? Like, you know, Vince has a board of directors and shareholders to directly answer to, and, you know, that's why, you know, some people, including myself, believe that the product has gone stale over the better part of the last 20 years is because, you know, they've had to water it down. They've had to make it family friendly. You know, like they're a Fortune 500 publicly traded company. They've got to really watch, you know, image matters for companies like that. And it's first and foremost, period, you know, and shareholders come first. It's written in corporate, like, creeds, you know, that the bottom line for a corporation is to make shareholders money, period. You know, that's pretty much what it is. So they got to watch what they do is what I'm saying. They can't really afford to take risks or be edgy. And AEW doesn't have to worry about any of that. It's almost like they have a weight off their shoulders, brother. I don't know. Have you ever thought about like that, you know, thought about it all from that perspective?
Oh, yeah. Ever since WWE went PG, man, you look at the, you know, they're on ESPN. You look at the sponsorship has gotten better, and it is more kid friendly and all that. You know, everybody's always talks about the Attitude Era. Boy, I'm gonna get some hate on this, but I didn't really enjoy the Attitude Era that much, man. I kind of was into the I guess back when they was having trouble filling arenas when you know, Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels and them kind of guys were on top.
So you're talking about the pre-DX Shawn Michaels, right?
Yeah, man, that was the era. I guess the 80s and right around 97. That was kind of my last year. I really enjoyed wrestling.
Yeah. Well, you know, I did enjoy the Attitude Era. Actually, I enjoyed it all, man. I enjoyed professional wrestling all the way up until they quit being so edgy and like not so much with what they say on television. It just got like the storylines, everything just got kind of generic, I guess. Kind of started feeling more and more, and I hate to use this word, like a circus or something every week. You know, more like a traveling carnival and traveling entertainment, more than like the ongoing real life soap opera drama that it had been, you know, my entire life.
Yeah. I miss the days of the slow burn, man. The slow burn and telling longer stories. Some of the stuff, everything feels rushed. Like we got to get it out there now. And I know the world we're living in is moving faster than it ever has.
Yeah. Do you blame that on the internet?
Spans are a lot. Yeah. It's got a whole lot to do with it for sure. People's attention spans ain't what they used to be. You know, they want everything and they want it right now.
So do you think like that the internet, like, for example, you know, like with Roman, you know, like because of the internet, like everybody knew kind of what the WWE's plan was with Roman, and you know, that on top of the fact that it was pretty telegraphed. And do you think that fact alone turned people off on Roman? Not necessarily Roman himself, but just the fact that they kind of knew what was coming, type deal.
Yeah, my opinion with the whole Roman deal was that year everybody wanted Daniel Bryan in that Royal Rumble, and Roman won. It seemed like that was the night when everybody kind of changed on him. But now he's back to getting really great reactions.
Yeah, he's doing a lot better now, dude. And speaking of getting reactions and getting ratings, and just really just trying to garner some attention, I guess is what I'm saying here. Have you heard the news that WWE is evidently considering, they're pondering this, like ending the brand split when the new SmackDown television deal starts, and they just kind of want to have these guys on both shows. That's what these networks are like lobbying for.
Yeah, it makes sense, but the unfortunate part of that is some of these guys and gals, they're going to get lost in the shuffle, man, if everybody's on both shows.
Yeah, because then you would just have like AJ on television on Monday and AJ on television on Tuesday and Daniel Bryan on television on Monday and on Tuesday. And like you said, I think ultimately would create less time for these mid-card wrestlers. And also, wouldn't it kind of diminish the value of the belts if, like, let's say, like on Raw, like one match is for the Universal title, then the very next match is for the WWE Championship, and then the very next match is for the Intercontinental Championship, and then later on tonight we've got the United States Championship on the line. It's like, okay, like, you know what I mean, brother?
all titles will be on the line on every single show.
Then the next night, do you do it all over again? I mean, what do you do?
Yeah, it's going to be some very interesting times coming up, and we will be here to cover whatever goes on.
Oh, yeah, and I think in a way, brother, by like WWE, and I have huge respect, we both do, brother, especially for the performers within the WWE, so I don't want anybody to think that we're like trying to bury them, because what they do is really truly put themselves on the line every day. But I think that by the WWE building like this huge machine, this huge wrestling machine that they have over the better part of the last 25 or 30 years, I think that in a way they've kind of put themselves in a corner, because anytime they want to change direction or make some moves on the fly, everything's just so big and massive. It's like trying to like turn a tractor trailer and you're going 80 miles an hour, but you want to take a really quick right turn. It's just tough to do, brother. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. There's a lot of moving parts with this, man, and I'm wishing it the best. Of course, I'm a fan. Like we were saying, we don't mean to like for anybody to think we're trashing. It's the opposite. We love professional wrestling, whether it's the Indies, WWE, whatever it is. A guy out in his backyard with a broomstick, we just appreciate the arts, and we want it to thrive again, brother.
That's right. That's all we want to see, brother. And I think I think it's just right around the corner, dude. I think WWE is going to step their game up, and they're going to figure out what's going on here. Right now, they're kind of at an all-time low with their ratings, and really had a lot of stars out injured, a lot of moving pieces. Everything's kind of being shuffled around. But I think you give them a few months, brother, they're going to have their train back on the tracks. AEW is going to be launching their television deal, and I'm seeing grumblings every day that it's getting closer and closer to being announced any day now, brother. So I'm pretty sure that the future's bright for everybody.
Yeah, there's just so much competition out there anymore, man. I can't tell you how many times I'll go to a social gathering. Most people are on their phones. They're not even hardly watching television anymore.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, cable television is dying a slow death, brother. But it's people like Vince McMahon who keeps putting on this live sporting events is what's keeping it in there, brother. Because other than that, you can pretty much consume everything delayed. You know what I mean? But if you want to catch a live game or a live wrestling show, that's basically the last reason to have cable.
Yeah, that's pretty much why I keep mine, man. It was WWE, and I enjoy my NBA too. Congratulations to the Milwaukee Bucks there.
Yeah, man, I'm sure that was kind of a shot to the gut for you being a Celtics fan.
it was hard, man, but at the same time it was, and I've always been like a lightweight Bucks fan. But anyways, back to wrestling.
Can I tell you one thing real quick, brother?
What's that?
Larry Bird ain't walking through that door. Okay. Kevin McHale
and Robert Parrish.
Not walking through that door anytime soon.
Patino.
But I'll tell you who. Right. Hey, I'll tell you who is probably walking out the door is Kyrie, brother. So yeah, you're gonna have a new shakedown roster. And I think that your coach there, and I know we're getting off topic here, but I think Brad Stevens actually does a better job when he has guys who's like less. Less superstar-ish as Kyrie. Kyrie's kind of a me kind of guy, and kind of like he kind of reminds me of your guy off the Show Me the Money Jerry Maguire movie, like a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, and I think I'm just saying, I think Brad Stevens does a lot better with the like bring your lunch pail kind of hard-working, gritty kind of guys who just don't necessarily need the glam.
Yeah, well, he's in the perfect city for that. It makes all the sense in Boston.
That's right. Hard working in Boston there, baby. Like, let's get him a whole team full of 13 Tom Brady's. It's going to be...
Go Celtics!
Hey, so, man, I guess we're going to go ahead and wrap today's show up, brother. You know, we've kind of ran a little long here. We've gotten off topic. I don't remember what the hell we're even talking about at this point, dude, so I think it's best to go ahead and wrap it up. But before we do, real quick, man, I had a chance to check out Tim Tebow was here in town playing against our AAA affiliate team yesterday here in Louisville, and I had a chance to check the game out. And yes, I did go. My wife did pack me a brown bag lunch, brother. So I'll give you a chance to, you know, what do you think was in it? What do you think was in it, brother?
Let me see. I'm gonna guess there was a canned Coke, a roast beef sandwich, and a bag of chips, brother.
Oh, Mr. Producer, man, show me a canned Coke, roast beef sandwich, and bag of chips.
Oh shit! Okay, that's spooky.
I did not. Well, I didn't have a can of Coke. I had a bottle of water.
Oh, okay.
I had a bottle of water,
Close.
brother. Yeah, I had a bottle of water. Thank you. But I did have a roast beef sandwich and some chips.
Good lord.
That is a little scary, brother. Yeah. Yeah, brother. It is a little scary, brother. Yeah. Oh, man. There it goes.
Celtics.
Gotta hurry it up, brother. It's time to wrap it up. All right, man. So you want to be kind enough to put a bow on today's show, brother?
Yeah, everybody out there that's listening, hit the like button. Even better, hit the subscribe button. Tell a friend, tell an enemy, tell anyone, tell a wrestler, tell somebody help. And if you didn't like us, hit us with the King Kong Bundy Splash for the 5 count, and maybe we can have you on the show and you explain why you don't enjoy us. And then we're going to share this on our Facebook affiliate pages like we always do. The Bliss Army, Becky Lynch Mob, Hitman Hart Fan Club, Kofi Kingston Club, I Heart Pro Wrestling, Carlitos Caribbean Cool Fan Club, Wrestling is Our Passion, Wrestling Unleashed, All Access Indie Wrestling, LJ and Maniacs, All Elite Wrestling, Let's Get Rowdy With It, WWE Retro Figure Fan Club, Wicked Thoughts, and Music for Thought.
Wow, brother. I appreciate you taking a moment to get that list ready every single day, because I know you don't do a damn bit of preparation for the show, baby. But you got the list, and for you having that, you've just made my list, brother. So thank you. People out there, check us out on the web, thatwrestlingpodcast.com. And if you like us, put us over. Let us know. And if you don't like us, let us know. We'll do a job for you on your show. It's the way we roll right here on That Wrestling Podcast. And having said that, we will catch you guys on Monday, I hope, right?
Woo!
Ooh, yeah.
Go Sharks!
And you can teach that.
Carlito Caribbean.
Woo!
That's right, baby.
The following is a paid advertisement. That Wrestling Podcast is not responsible for any claims, guarantees, or products in this ad. Hey, ladies out there, you having trouble getting somebody to pay you a few dollars? Well, contact Paulie and Paul's Intervention, Mediation, and Protection Services today. Intervention.
You need us to intervene, smack a couple guys around? No problem.
Mediation. We can mediate your problem today. Protection.
You need your money, you need it now. We'll go find them, smack them around. Nobody's got to know a thing.
That's Paulie and Paul's Intervention, Mediation, and Protection Services, also known as PIMP.